Okay guys, what is up? I'm back, and as you guys already know from the title of this video, I'll be reacting to the Marauders, complete story, along with me reacting to some more of the Marauders fan video edits. This is not the first time, people. I do know about the Marauders because I did react to the Marauders fan video edits, and if you guys haven't seen that, and if you guys want to see it, it is on my channel. Yo, I like the Marauders. I'm like, yo, those are my dudes. It sucks that there is really nothing out there besides, I guess, the Harry Potter films, even though they jacked them up, and there's no books, there's nothing. I'm gonna go ahead and check out these videos, and if you guys want to check it out with me, let's go ahead and check out this mess, people. For those that are watching, let's go. Okay.
I solemnly swear.
Here we go, guys.
I am up to no.
Also, hopefully you guys can hear me. If not, you guys could go screw off. And hopefully you guys can hear this video.
Good.
Oh my gosh, there it is.
Oh, greetings, my dear wizards, witches, muggles, and squibs.
Hey.
As you can see, today I hold one of the most mysterious and fascinating objects ever created. An invaluable tool that reveals secrets, hidden passages, and the location of anyone daring enough to wander within Hogwarts. I hear you muggles have something similar you call PGS, GPS, maybe? Well, I wouldn't know. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the legendary Marauders map. The work of 4 of the greatest and cheekiest students ever to roam the halls of Hogwarts. Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs. I'm still your Quinton Pentagram, and today we delve into the story that many of you have asked for, because I'm certain that the adventure of Marauders, with their cunning and secrets, are hidden within this very map. But hey, let's keep this a secret between us.
Yo, come on.
What on earth is Lockhart doing at Hogwarts? Don't tell me he's escaped from St. Mungo's, has he? Damn it. He wants to steal my possible position as the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher.
How long is this mess? Okay.
It all began on September 1st, many years ago.
Hey,
as tradition held, it was the first day at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
Oh, this is cool, yo.
For many young witches and wizards, eager to embark on their own journeys into the wizarding world. Aboard the Hogwarts Express, surrounded by the lush green of the Scottish Highlands, the destinies of 2 boys became forever intertwined.
My name's
James Potter and Sirius Black shook hands, unaware that this simple gesture would be just the beginning of a friendship that would shape the course of events and future generations in the wizarding world.
So AI.
Pure blood heirs of their respective families. The friendship between the 2 boys, so similar, yet so different, was cemented the moment the Sorting Hat placed them both in Gryffindor.
That's right.
James, born to Fleamont Potter, and his wife, Euphemia, was conceived late in his parents' lives and raised in a household where love and material comfort knew no bounds. Fleamont, a skilled but retired potioneer and entrepreneur, had achieved great success with his creation of Sleek Easy's hair potion in 1926. Both he and Euphemia were elderly, even by wizarding standards, and dedicated themselves entirely to their only son, James. It was no surprise then that James grew up proud, arrogant, and boastful, yet with a good heart deep down. It was on his 11th birthday, in anticipation of his admission to Hogwarts, that Fleamont gifted James an artifact passed down through generations in the Potter family. A bloodline descending from none other than Ignotus Peverell, one of the 3 brothers and the possessor of a deathly hallow.
This cloak,
the Cloak of Invisibility,
is yours.
Sirius, on the other hand, was the eldest son of the noble House of Black, a once notable pure-blood wizarding family.
Right.
The third of his name, born to Orion and Walburga Black, both dark wizards and second cousins, Sirius also had a younger brother,
Regulus,
with whom he never had a close relationship. Sirius felt different, an outsider. In fact, he considered Regulus to be a better son than himself. The Black family held a strong belief in pure-blood elitism. They refused to associate with muggles, muggle-borns, squibs, and blood traitors, even disowning squib family members like Sirius's great-uncle, Marius Black, and insisted that their family only marry within respectable pure-blood circles. Because of these beliefs, they were often forced to marry their own cousins. They also held the dark arts in high regard. In contrast, from a young age, Sirius had a fascination with the Muggle world, shown by his interest in motorcycles. With a strict Slytherin family tradition, his sorting into Gryffindor became a pivotal step in the decline of his relationship with his family. Despite the hatred directed towards him, particularly from his mother and his cousin Bellatrix, Sirius greatly enjoyed life at Hogwarts with his friend James. The two had become practically inseparable, facing adventures together and getting into one scrape after another. During their first year, the duo formed a friendship with two fellow Gryffindors, the lonely and quiet Remus James Lupin and the clumsy, chubby Peter Pettigrew.
And screw Peter.
Peter, who had put the sorting hat in a dilemma during
screw
the ceremony,
him.
taking over 5 minutes to decide whether to place him in Slytherin or Gryffindor and making him a hat store, was the typical anonymous kid teased for his clumsiness. He looked up to James and Sirius as his idols, skilled in magic, courageous, and admired by all their classmates. Peter, frequently targeted by older students and Slytherins, was often bullied and mocked, much like young Remus, who hid a tragic past behind his reserved nature. His father, Lyle Lupin, a world-renowned expert on non-human spiritus apparitions, such as poltergeists and boggarts, had been contacted by the Ministry of Magic as the Dark Lord rose to power and the First Wizarding War loomed. Alongside other experts on dark creatures, he was sought out in hopes of better understanding the threat and keeping it in check. Lyle gladly accepted an invitation to join the department for the regulation and control of magical creatures. In early 1965, Fenrir Greyback was questioned by the Ministry of Magic regarding the deaths of 2 Muggle children. Although he was caught with a pack of werewolves, the Ministry failed to realize that Greyback was one himself due to the poor upkeep of the werewolf registry. Greyback posed as a harmless Muggle tramp, which convinced most of the committee, except for Lyle Lupin, who noticed telltale signs of lycanthropy and recommended keeping Greyback in custody until the full moon, just a day away. However, Lyle's remarks about werewolves being soulless and evil led to his expulsion from the meeting, and Greyback was released, later escaping with the help of accomplices. Greyback soon planned his revenge, and thus began the tragedy. Shortly before Remus Lupin's 5th birthday, the werewolf broke into his bedroom and attacked the defenseless boy.
See, I didn't even know about all of that. That's why I'm glad that I'm basically watching this, because there are a lot of stuff that I don't really know. I did do my research and I knew that Remus basically is a werewolf. It's just that I didn't know that he got attacked, so that's interesting.
Him with a curse that would accompany him for the rest of his life.
Which makes sense. But I just thought that it was through his parents.
His parents took him to various healers and did everything they could to make him a normal boy again. But there was no cure for his condition. Yet, despite the difficult situation and the prejudice of the wizarding world against Remus, Headmaster Albus Dumbledore, as was his custom, acted against the tide by making special accommodations to allow Remus to attend Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. After the first difficult year at school, during which he kept his status as a werewolf a secret from all the students, inventing stories to explain his monthly disappearances, things changed when some friendly boys from his dormitory, James Potter and Sirius Black, along with the goofy Peter Pettigrew, managed to sense his secret, discovering his true nature. Remus, terrified and certain that his life at Hogwarts would become even more challenging now that his secret was out in the open, was instead taken aback by the playful demeanor of his friends. They started joking around with him on a waxing moon night, trying to help him approach his lycanthropy in a light-hearted and playful way. They began calling him Moony, and from that point on, even the dreaded full moon nights became, for the first time, not so terrible thanks to the company of friends. Friends who would forever protect his secret. Thus, amid jokes and laughter, on that night in late October, the quartet of the Marauders was born.
As a third-year student, I'll be starting to apply for internships, which
gradually became inseparable, gaining increasing notoriety within the halls of Hogwarts. Remus began to earn respect. Peter stopped being bullied and even started teasing the more arrogant students himself. As for Sirius and James, who were already popular and by their second year had become respectively beater and chaser for the Gryffindor Quidditch team,
okay.
they became even more so, making them the most sought-after boys by the girls at school. Despite their popularity, there was one girl in particular, a fellow Gryffindor in the same year as the Marauders, who seemed to harbor no particular fondness for the quartet, quite the opposite. A muggle-born girl with flowing red hair and sparkling green eyes, Lily Evans. Lily's best friend, Severus Snape, a half-blood who had been sorted into Slytherin, was often targeted by the group, especially by James Potter, who was always looking for an opportunity to mock him, derogatorily nicknaming him Snivelous Snape. For the vast majority of his time at school, in fact, James was somewhat of an obnoxious youth, with a love for showing off, and an exceptional self-confidence that bordered on arrogance. Severus Snape once remarked that James was so arrogant that criticism simply bounced off him. This rebellious attitude was notably shaped by the negative qualities he developed, such as the habit of ruffling his already messy hair to make it look even more disheveled, as if he had just jumped off his broomstick. He enjoyed hexing Slytherin students, especially Severus Snape, merely for the sake of doing so. But if Snape was targeted, it was also because James aimed to get noticed by Lily Evans, that intelligent and beautiful Gryffindor girl, the only one with enough guts to stand up to him and tell him off.
Wow.
Lily didn't like James at all. To her, he was nothing more than a self-centered show-off. His behavior towards her friend Severus was intolerable in her eyes. James and Snape had a strong rivalry throughout their time at Hogwarts. Some believe this began due to Snape's jealousy of James's talent in Quidditch and his popularity, as well as Snape's interest in the dark arts, which James despised. However, it is also known that James and Sirius had gotten off on the wrong foot with Snape from the beginning. When they first met Snape during their first year on the Hogwarts Express, they insulted him for his desire to become a Slytherin and mocked him for his nose, setting a solid foundation for rivalry. Their subsequent interactions only served to intensify this conflict. Snape followed the Marauders around, looking for reasons to get them expelled. James, in turn, used the hexes that Snape himself had created against him. Days passed at Hogwarts, and with time and the physical changes typical of adolescence, lycanthropy became increasingly difficult for Remus to manage and endure. To ensure his safety and that of his peers, the boy was taken to a shack each month during his transformations to prevent him from attacking other students. However, this isolation led him to lash out in frustration, causing villagers in Hogsmeade to mistake his screams for those of violent ghosts. To keep the truth about the noises a secret, Dumbledore encouraged these rumors, resulting in the Shrieking Shack gaining a reputation as the most haunted building in Britain. During those years, the Wolfbane potion had not yet been invented, and the psychological pressure Remus faced in trying to combat his curse was making him more and more sullen, gaunt, and silent. It was then that the young Sirius had an insight, an idea as crazy as it was unfeasible. What if on full moon nights, he, James, and Peter could become animals as well? Perhaps Remus would feel less alone. Perhaps that anger and ferocity that overtook him on those nights would be subdued. But how could all this become a reality? Naturally, the three Marauders would need to become animagi. Becoming an animagus is considered one of the most difficult magical skills to master. To become an animagus, a witch or wizard must undergo a long and challenging ritual. The process begins with the individual keeping a single mandrake leaf in their mouth for an entire month, from one full moon to the next. If the leaf is removed or swallowed, the process must start over. On the next visible full moon, the wizard must spit the saliva-covered leaf into a small crystal vial that captures the moon's rays. They then add one of their own hairs, a silver teaspoon of dew, collected from a place untouched by sunlight or human feet for a week, and the chrysalis of a death's head hawk moth. This mixture must be placed in a quiet, dark location without disturbance. The wizard must wait for a lightning storm, chanting the incantation Amato Animo Animato Animagus every sunrise and sunset. If done correctly, they may sense a second heartbeat while touching the wand to their chest. which is normal and should not
Because they did all of that mess. That is crazy.
interrupt the process. When the lightning storm occurs, the wizard retrieves the vial, which should contain a blood-red potion if the previous steps were followed correctly. They must then move to a secure location to safely transform and,
That is
using their
crazy.
wand, recite the incantation one last time.
So that's how that mess
before
works.
drinking the potion. Once completed, the witch or wizard gains the ability to shift between their human and animal forms at will, with or without a wand. However, any mistakes in the process could lead to disastrous results, such as permanent half-human, half-animal mutations. After successfully completing the ritual, the animagus experiences a vision, revealing their new animal form.
Ah, there you are, my beloved
Yo, stop this mess back.
You're not any quicker than a golden snitch. First of all, I want to thank you all for being here for this episode of the Spellbook Chronicles. And if you think Quentin Pendragon is charming enough to deserve your generous support, you might consider...
Yeah, I'm gonna skip.
For 3 years, the Marauders secretly studied and followed the rules of the ritual, trying to achieve their animal forms. And so it happened, during their 5th year at Hogwarts, that the first among them succeeded. Sirius transformed into a powerful dog.
That's right.
As night.
That's right.
Following
I heard about that.
was James, who was able to become
The deer.
a stag with impressive antlers, both animals large enough to keep the wolfish Remus in check. Meanwhile, Peter managed to become a rat. Once a month during the full moon, Sirius, James, and Peter would sneak out of the castle under James's invisibility cloak, transform, enter the Whomping Willow, walk down the tunnel, and meet Remus in the Shrieking Shack. Under their influence, his lycanthropy became more manageable. While his body remained that of a wolf, his mind became less wild in their presence. The 4 of them soon left the confines of the Whomping Willow and roamed the school grounds and Hogsmeade by night. Having become animagi and never officially registered as such with the Ministry of Magic, the Marauders coined nicknames to accompany Moony. Sirius became Padfoot, Peter became Wormtail, and James became Prongs. But throughout all those years at Hogwarts, the Marauders did not hold back, quite the opposite. In fact, during their 5th year, they perhaps tested their greatest invention, a magical artifact of incredible power and wisdom, infused with the personalities of its 4 creators, the Marauders Map. They created the map using the Homunculus Charm, a powerful and advanced spell that enchanted it to track the movements of everyone in the castle.
It's like, basically watching this mess, it's like a lot of stuff makes sense now. Like I said, I did my research, but I didn't do a whole lot of research, just a little bit with like the characters and just, you know, a little bit of the story. But just looking at this, I'm just really glad, like I said, that I'm able to just check this out because this explains so much and a lot of stuff makes a lot of sense.
As well as to include a charm that insulted Severus Snape. The ability of Sirius, Peter, and James to become animagi allowed them to explore the castle grounds undetected at night. Meanwhile, the interior of the castle was mapped over time with the help of James's invisibility cloak. This map proved quite useful to the foursome over the years, until it was confiscated by Argus Filch. Although the precise circumstances surrounding the Maker's loss of their artifact are mostly unknown, it is easy to conclude that they eventually overreached and were cornered by Filch, likely due to a tip-off from Snape, who had become obsessed with exposing his arch-rival, James Potter.
He's so obsessed with James. That's why I'm like, the movies just did the Marauders terrible. Because it's like people who don't know the Marauders, they assume that James and them are like bullies. But it's like, Snape is a creep and a douchebag. Like, screw Snape,
the animosity between the Marauders and Severus Snape, especially James,
so obsessed,
day by day. Supporting the quartet was Patricia Rakepick, a Gryffindor a few years older, with whom they had formed a
Yo, why she look like freaking Lily?
close friendship. In addition to their shared hatred for Snape,
It's the
Patricia
hair.
also had the same adventurous spirit and tendency to break the rules. Because of this, she was detested by most of the professors, who considered her a bad influence on younger students, except for Albus Dumbledore, who regarded her as an exceptionally talented pupil. In many ways, she could be seen as the true mentor of the Marauders, imparting to them cunning and the art of devising sophisticated pranks and tricks. At that time, Patricia was likely the only other person to whom the Marauders had confided the existence of the map. One afternoon in the spring of their 5th year,
Sharp curves for
I might add, fantastic.
One afternoon in the spring of
let's
their
go.
5th year, James and Snape had yet another heated exchange. But this time, James crossed the line, bullying the Slytherin
I feel like James and Snape is almost like freaking Harry and Draco in a way.
by using a spell he had invented that turned him upside down to reveal his
Oh, yeah, that was from the movies.
humiliating him in front of many students, including Lily. She demanded that James stop, but he responded, "I will, if you'll go out with me, Evans." When James lifted the jinx, Snape, in
Yes,
his
if
humiliation
I
and anger,
have you
called
go out
Lily
with me.
a filthy little mudblood, deeply hurting her. Immediately, Potter demanded that he apologize, but Lily retorted that James was as bad as Snape and that she would not date him.
I wouldn't.
Girl. But wait, you actually is. Then she's gonna end up marrying him, like, please. And then have a baby.
Between you and the giant squid.
Like, come
This
on.
event deeply shook both Lily and Severus. Although it seemed no less trivial than many other moments in the daily lives of adolescents at Hogwarts, it would leave an indelible mark on their bond, shattering the balance that had existed and setting off a chain of events that would ultimately alter the fate of everyone in the wizarding world. Following this event, Potter and Black were expelled from the Quidditch team. James became quiet, likely beginning to develop a sense of guilt over the cruelty he had shown towards Snape. In contrast, Sirius's animosity toward the Slytherin remained unchanged.
Dang, but that's what Snape wanted. Snape wanted that mess to happen because of his jealousy.
On yet another full moon night, Snape grew increasingly curious about where Remus went each month and observed Madame Pomfrey taking him to the Shrieking Shack through a secret passage
Yo,
beneath
Snape
the Whomping
nosy.
Willow. Sirius took advantage of Snape's curiosity and as a joke told him that the trick to getting past the Whomping Willow was to poke the knot at its base. Snape followed Sirius's instructions and was nearly at the Shrieking Shack when James pulled him back. At great personal risk, James saved Severus from certain death at the hands of Remus in his werewolf form. However, Snape stubbornly refused to believe that his old rival had acted out of goodwill, assuming instead that Potter had saved him only
And it seems too, of what I heard too, is that James really has changed a lot. Like, he actually became better and more mature, so that really just says a lot about his character.
to avoid expulsion, and he loathed being indebted to him.
Severus.
Albus Dumbledore swore Severus to secrecy,
I must ask
but he now understood Remus's true nature.
Keep this matter between
The
us.
relationship between James and Snape did not improve, but
Of
at
course
least
not.
it didn't worsen. They simply kept their distance from each other as much as possible. In the meantime, when he turned 16, James's parents allowed Sirius to move in with them so he could
Right,
escape
right.
his own horrible family. Sirius had made a point of hanging Gryffindor banners all over his room at number 12 Grimmauld Place to emphasize his differences from the rest of his family. In addition to the shrine to Godric Gryffindor, he decorated the rest of his room like that of a typical Muggle boy his age. He put up pictures of motorcycles, fighter jets, and posters of models, honoring Muggle achievements in a way that irritated his family. But nothing angered them more than the fact that Sirius found Muggle women attractive. His attitude, completely at odds with the Black family ideals, ultimately led to him being disowned, officially cut off, and replaced in their eyes by his younger brother, Regulus. At Hogwarts,
It
time
explains so much why James and Sirius are like so close and they really became brothers.
flew by. The
Explains
classes
so
became
much.
increasingly intense, and even in the rebellious, adventurous spirits of the Marauders, a more mature character began to take root, with their eyes turning toward the future and their destinies, once their time at school came to an end. By his 7th year, James had matured considerably, shedding much of the mischievous streak that had once defined him. Despite never having been a prefect, he was appointed head boy alongside Lily,
Nice.
with whom he had the chance to spend more time. The two got to know each other better, and Lily, who had distanced herself from her friend Severus, due to his growing sympathy for the Dark Lord's cause and his Death Eaters, began to develop feelings for James Potter. He stopped hexing others for fun, though he and Snape still occasionally hexed each other in secret, with hints that James was willing to let it go for Lily's sake. Around this time, he finally managed to win Lily over, and they began dating. Against all initial odds, the two fell in love. And with the love of James and Lily, the end of their 7th year at Hogwarts also marks the end of the Marauders legend. But the story of the 4 wizards continues, albeit in another chapter, that of the Order of the Phoenix, and the first wizarding war against the Dark Lord. However, that is another story.
Oh, okay, so there's gonna be another one. The Marauders will return.
It seems this map has finished its tale for today.
That was good.
Insults and all. But as true Marauders, I'm sure you know, the adventure doesn't stop here. Because my brave viewers, those who understand magic, know that every corner and every corridor hides a new secret. See you soon for another story and another adventure, right here on the Spellbook Chronicles. Oh, and don't forget the magic word. Mischief managed.
Of course, of course. Wow. That was really good. Okay, guys, so I finished with that and I really liked it. I feel like they did everything that they could by telling the story of the Marauders and the characters. And I am just really glad that I did check out this video, like I said when I did my reaction to this, because they really did explain a lot of the important information about the Marauders, especially for the people who wants to know more about the Marauders. I feel like if you want to know more about the Marauders, this right here is a good video to go ahead and get to know about the Marauders and their story at Hogwarts and just, you know, the characters and who they are, especially since the movies and even the books of Harry Potter didn't really explain much about them. It was just through Snape's perspective, I think. So yeah, before we start this mess, I just want you guys to know that this is the fan video edit that I did check out when I checked out the Marauders fan video edits. And I really like this fan video edit so much. I think this is one of my favorites from the Marauders fan video edits. I'm just gonna go ahead and react to this again. So yeah, let's get it.
Messrs Mooney, Wormtail, Padfoot and Prongs are proud to present the Marauders map.
Yo, chills. Jeez, already.
From a club.
What?
A brotherhood.
Aren't we already a club?
Listen, I don't care what it's called, as long as we pledge our loyalty to each other.
Exactly.
Run past the rivers, run past all the lights.
Yo, I'm getting chills already. Jeez, this is just really just awesome.
You saw her too, right?
Feel it crashing and burn.
Just the dialogue.
Didn't see you there.
Strike a match, lit the fire, shining up
It's obviously
the sky.
important to you.
It's like they're literally communicating. Like, it's so insane.
As it all comes down again. As it all comes down again. As it all comes down
We think.
to the sound.
Going nowhere.
The sound of the wind is whispering in your head.
Stay out of trouble, lad. Gonna say, you really are there for me. Never on time, usually looking like a pile of shite. Never know that you're there.
This is so crazy.
What is it?
I got my eye on you.
Like, this just makes me wish that this was real. And it sucks that it's not real. It's like all fan made by these like creators and obviously the fans of, you know, the Marauders, but I'm just like, dang, like it just looks so real. Like the fact that it's not real, like it's just all fake from like these different like movie scenes. Like I'm just like so impressed how realistic it just looks. Like, yo,
What is happening?
Everyone can be as
and it's like they have chemistry, even though it's not real.
Hear them screaming out. We'll be crying for mercy. We'll be crying out loud.
Wow.
Burn the bridges in our town till the point where we drown. As it all comes down again. As it all comes down.
Take such interest in everyone you meet. trouble. We might be fun.
Probably know you kissed him. Yeah, I don't know. I just lash out at you after.
That is so insane.
Okay?
Like, how the hell did they do this mess?
Do you want to hear it? Yeah. I'm in love with you. What's that?
You know, let's go get a drink and celebrate. Perhaps you might send me a handsome.
Yo, chills. Shut up. Oh my gosh.
I'm not getting married.
Well, here I am.
Yo, Aaron Taylor Johnson, who is obviously the fan cast for James, he honestly looks like James in this part right here because of the freaking glasses. Like, yo, that is just crazy. Yo, freaking Andrew Garfield as Remus.
I'm afraid of dying. It's far worse for those left behind.
Ben. I think Ben Barnes as Sirius.
Like you said, I'm gonna soldier on.
No, please let me help you.
I can die in any way the fates choose. That's not up to me. But what is within
She's
my
a good
power
freaking
is to
Lily.
decide how I live, courageously or timidly.
Brothers, will you join your comrades in this act of changing the world?
I solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
We are coming. Sound the wind is whispering in your ear. Can you feel it coming back? Little one, little go, keep running till we're there. Coming home now. Coming home now. The sound the wind is whispering in your ear.
Driving me mad.
Can you feel
Now what do we do? Change the world!
little one, little go, keep running till we're
So where we going, boys?
Yo, that was good right there. Oh my gosh. That was good right there. Where are we going, boys? This right here just explains the story, explains the characters, and I just really just like how it just looks like a work of art and it just looks like a film. It almost looks like a movie trailer, seriously. So just watching this again, like, brings back memories when I first acted to this, and this really became one of my favorite fan video edits because it's just insane. It's insane how it's not real. It's insane that this is all just made up. Okay, next video, come on.
Tell you who your father is, just play this song when it rains. Yes, he's a hit maker, songwriter, superstar, right? And a fucking dead beat that should never.
Our family is the noble and most ancient house of black.
Oh, nice.
Beat the grams.
Hey. Okay, that's nice. That's dope right
I
there.
tell you, yes, he's a hit maker, songwriter, superstar, right? And a fucking dead beat
Yo,
that
the
should
freaking
never.
Our
fan
family is
cast.
the noble and most ancient house of black.
Like, they honestly
Beat the
look the
grams.
part. Yo, that is so dope. Jeez.
I tell you who your father is.
No. Yo, that mess right there. Like it. Okay. Kobe James.
I'm sorry.
What's wrong with you?
You're trouble. What was that?
Pranking Peter, huh?
No way.
That's serious.
Too funny. Marauders, they do like pranking people and each other. They're just mischiefs. So this right here just makes a whole lot of sense. Okay, I like that one too.
Our family is the noble and most ancient house of black.
yo, they are talented as hell. And the music just goes along with each of like the scenes that I've checked out from these different fan video edits, yo. It's so that, it's so that, it's so that. Is there anything else? Oh shoot, what's this? Oh, okay. You're trying to break him out of the detention. Oh, follow me. Oh, I guess you next. Posted. Okay guys, I'm gonna stop right there because that was it for this video. I did my reaction to some more of the Marauders, and I really did enjoy the videos I've checked out, which was the complete story and also the fan video edits, which was more of the reactions that I've done with the fan video edits. And yeah, like I said, I still like the Marauders. I'm really glad that I was able to react to the Marauders complete story because I have like more information on the ones that I missed or I had no clue that happened to some of these characters. But yeah, the Marauders is such a tragic story, and how much the movie just butchered that by making them older than what they were supposed to be, because they were supposed to be young. They were supposed to be like 20 or 21. That is it for this video. For those people who have watched this all the way through, I appreciate your time, and let me know what other videos you guys want me to check out. For the ones that have already sent me videos, I will definitely check out more of the videos you guys have sent me. But to the newbies out there that haven't sent me nothing and want to send me videos, send me videos either in my email. You guys can go to my description, my email is right there, or you guys could just let me know in the comments and I will definitely try my best to check them all out eventually. But as of right now, this is it. And yeah, I really liked the Marauders. Like I said, I like the fan cast. It's unfortunate that the fan cast that I like, they're all older now. So obviously if they ever make a Marauders TV show or a movie, which I doubt because there are little info besides the fans who did their own like headcanons and all that, there's like a little info of the Marauders. So that's why I doubt that there will be a TV show or a movie, but who knows? I mean, they're making a Harry Potter TV show that's coming out in the future, so we will see. Maybe they'll make spin-offs, maybe, you know, there will be the Marauders. Who freaking knows? Shows I-XPLODE, you guys already know. And until next time, for those that are interested, and will return. Deuces.